You mentioned China there, which is obviously a hot topic, not just in Romania, but all over the world for that matter. I mean, they're playing in all kinds of sectors and all kinds of fields. We've seen with Huawei, they're coming here and they've been successful here, I would say, to some extent, certainly. The question, what areas do you see the Chinese competing with Europeans and competing with the United States? I know Chernovoda was one thing they competed for to over.
Yeah.
Where else do you see them poking around?
Well, okay, we can talk a little bit about Chernovoda. It's always at the top of my mind. I spend lots of time on this as you can imagine. It was critical, I think, that the Romanians saw that the value just wasn't there. I mean, one of the things the Chinese do, as you know, they like to come in and offer a better price, but that figure that they give you is often misleading in terms of what you're actually going to pay over the longer term and other costs that aren't accounted for. They didn't want that. They didn't want a company like CGN, which China General Nuclear indicted in the United States for stealing our nuclear secrets. They didn't want this company investing in and building their energy, their electricity plant that's going to provide an increasing share of electricity in this country as they shut down some of these older coal plants. So yes, security in energy was a major consideration there. And that's an area where the Chinese wanted to be competitive. But at this point, it looks pretty clear that, that they've lost out. And thankfully, we're going to have a US-led consortium that's going to put this project together, and that'll deliver a different kind of value.
So in essence, you're saying it's not always about dollars and cents, even though the dollars, what you said, are deceptive. It's also values. There's a suspicion.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, frankly, there's suspicion. What are they going to do if they invest in the plant? What are they going to do if they build a control system? Nobody really trusts this anymore. And so that was a big consideration. You mentioned Huawei and 5G. I think we discussed that, but that's another area where they just don't want to see the Chinese getting, getting their fingers into things here.
Yeah.
This business of government tenders is important as well. The Chinese offer competitive, again, initial pricing for roads and infrastructure projects and ports, things like that. Over the longer term, even in the neighborhood, we've seen, I mean, I also served in Montenegro. I was there when the Montenegrin government signed a deal with the Chinese to build this highway that they're building there. Now it's over budget. It's behind schedule. It doesn't even have another part to link up on the other side. They're going to build a highway into the middle of nowhere, Serbia.
Yeah.
So that's never a good deal. So what were they doing with that? And the cost is never what it's listed at the front end of that. And so they decided to short circuit that here and say, listen, we need to get value on infrastructure project. We don't want to be in a situation where we get the lowest bidder and wind up with debt trap and unsatisfactory results and all of the things that come with that. So, that's an area where the Chinese are trying to compete as well. With Huawei, I will mention the Chinese have emphasized that they have investments here. Huawei has employing a couple of thousand people in a service center, in a regional service center. Some of Huawei's competitors, who are not necessarily American, like Ericsson, like Nokia, these are the companies from which you're going to go buy equipment if you don't want to buy Huawei equipment.
Yeah,
they have more employees here. And they do more business, and so some of it is just, there's sometimes I think an over focus on the Chinese, as if that's what okay. First of all, I don't know that they'll lose that Huawei center, but second of all, there's much bigger investments coming from others in Romania. And so, really, what is the danger? We shall see.